Hello guys, and welcome to the 17th video of the HTML tutorial series where we're gonna be talking about blocks. Before you go on, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell button for future video uploads. Okay, so what are blocks? Let's suppose that you want to break your web page into pieces. Let's say 3 columns. Okay, this is too large. Say 1 column for a side menu, 1 column for the main content, and a third column for extra stuff, whatever you want. Okay, let's say that this contains articles, titles, images, and some text, then the next article with the next image and more text. Maybe this is the latest articles uploaded on the website, etc. Okay, in order to do that, you would have to use divs. So what is a div? Okay, the div is the HTML block used to, let's say, manipulate, if you will, a part of your web page, and it is used to break your web page down into little pieces so that you can access them and edit them in different ways. The div though is a block HTML element, which means it stands on its own inside the body. If you want to edit, let's suppose a piece of text inside a piece of code, then you would have to use a span, the span element. So let me explain. This is the div and this is the span. Although the span cannot work outside an element, it has to be inside an element. Let me talk to you about the span first. Let's go ahead and create a paragraph and type in: this is a normal period. This is a different period, and this is another normal period. Okay? If you type span around this period, just cut it and paste it in here, then you will be able to edit this period without affecting the whole paragraph. Okay, let's say you want to add a purple border. Okay, normally you would have to go here and add some style, say border 1 pixel solid purple, right? If you now refresh, you will see a purple border around the whole paragraph. But what if you wanted to affect just this period right here, since it's different? You would simply put the style inside the span element. Okay? The span is an inline element. So there are block elements like headings, paragraphs, divs, and others, which we're going to learn about later. And also there are the inline elements like the span or the em or the b for bold and other stuff that we learned in the text formatting lesson. Okay, you already know some. Let's go ahead. Let's say we want a purple border and let's say a background color of black and text color gold. If you save and refresh, you will see that anything inside the span now has a purple border black background color and gold text. The rest of the paragraph remains intact. Okay? So, what is the span good for? The span is used to edit a certain piece of text or certain portion of some element in HTML without affecting the whole block. Okay? I believe you got it. Let me enable text wrapping, word wrap actually. Okay. If you want to enable word wrap, by the way, you just go to View, toggle word wrap, or hit Alt and Z, or Alt and Z, whatever you want. It depends on whether your English is based on British English or American English. Okay, I believe you got it. Let's go ahead now, delete this paragraph, and add a div. What are divs used for? Well, the most common use for a div is to break down a web page into columns. So let's go ahead and do exactly that thing. I want you to create 3 divs. You do it like this in Visual Studio Code. But I want you to give them IDs like D1, for example. Okay? Yeah, you. Come on. You cannot multiply divs with IDs. So just type this and copy it, and then name them the IDs D2 and D3. Rename them. Now I want you to go in the CSS file and type D1, and then what are we doing later? I forgot. I want you to set the position to relative. This is a CSS property that makes the item that sets the item's position relative to its parent. Okay? So, I forgot a hash here. That's okay. I want you to add a border. Let's say 1 pixel, solid black. I also want you to go here and change the background color to, let's say, let's find a nice color, maybe khaki. Let's try this out. Yeah, it looks nice. Okay, so far this right here is our div. Okay, you can see this black line right here is actually a black box, but it has no height since there is no content inside our div. Okay, but it follows the width of the body. What we want to do now is change the width. So just type in width and let's say 200 pixels. Go ahead and set a minimum height, and the reason we the reason we want to be setting a minimum height instead of a height is that if we add content to the div, it will the height will not dynamically adjust to fit in all the content, and it might disappear. Some of the content might disappear. So this is how you set a minimum height with CSS. You can also simply type height, but if you go under a certain point, no more content will appear. What else? We got width, we got minimum height. Let's save and see what we got so far. Where is it? Yeah. Okay. What we forgot was to add border. This is why it's not here. So add a 1 pixel solid black. Actually, did I forget or did I delete it by accident? Yeah, I deleted it by accident. How the hell? Okay, here it is, guys. This is 200 pixels. Since the position is relative and we have not changed anything, it will stick to the left of the body. There's a 10% margin, remember. Okay, and it will have a width of 200 pixels and a height of 500. If we add more content, the height will dynamically adjust. If we did not say, if instead of a minimum height we set an actual height of 500 pixels, then no matter how much content we added, it would hit a wall here, and whatever we added that would be supposed to appear under this point will simply not appear at all. Okay, so what else do we want to add? Maybe add some margin right for the next diffs. Yep, let's say 50 pixels. Maybe what else? Add some padding. Let's say 10 pixels. This is enough. And now I want you to go ahead and copy this. Change the leave the width of the third div. Rename these to D3 and D2. Leave the width of the third div at 200 pixels, but change the middle one to 600. Okay, because we want the middle one to contain the content. Okay, let's see what just happened. By default, the divs will appear one under the other. Okay, but there's a CSS property which we have already learned that can make the divs stick to each other. Can make this go here and stick to this until it hits a wall, until it hits the margin of 50 pixels we have set actually, and then make this stick to this one just as well. Can you think of the CSS property? You have learned it already using images. Well, the property is float left. Go ahead and paste it in the other two. If you now refresh, you should get this result. Our page is broken down in 3 pieces. Okay? We will use the left one as a menu, the right one as some kind of menu, and the middle one for, let's say, posts or whatever. So this is how you break down into different your website into different parts. Let's say you want an unordered list with 5 list items which contain links. Okay. If you save, refresh, you will get a list with an empty list actually. Okay. Let's add some content. Let's say blah 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 blah. Yep. Okay, this is pretty much it. Refresh. But the links will not point anywhere since we have not added any reference. Okay, so after that, go here and add 5 images. Go ahead and how was it done? Was it with Alt? Yep. Okay. I want you to click here. I want you to hold down Alt and click everything below it. This is an awesome and amazing trick in Visual Studio Code to help you type in multiple lines at the same time. I want you to type in red panda.jpg. Okay? Click anywhere else and it stops. Do the same thing. Click here, hold down Alt and click here, here, here. Type in red panda. And now click here, Alt click everything below it, leave a space, and let's add some style. Let's say width inherit and height auto. If you hit escape, it will stop the multiple line typing. Let's refresh and see what happens. Okay. As you can see, the height of the middle div dynamically adjusted so that it could fit all 5 images. Okay. Now, with the CSS property with inherit, we are telling the browser to take this image and inherit the width of its parent element, which is the div with ID 2, okay, so that it can fit. Okay, although it will not go over the padding. It will not stray from the padding. The padding is here 5 pixels or whatever we have set it to. Okay? Images with inherited width will respect the padding. Okay? So let's go ahead and fill in the last div, in which what should we fill it in with? Wow, we can actually fill it with other divs. Let's say we want 5 divs. Div multiplied by 5, and here you got them. Click here, Alt click everything below, and go ahead and add. Should we add a class or should we do it on the next lesson? Actually, I believe this belongs to the next lesson because we should learn about classes and IDs. Okay, so in the next lesson we're going to talk about classes and IDs. Okay, so I'm gonna leave everything as is. Okay, remember, the span element is used to access a specific piece of text or portion of an element. For example, let's say style color green. Okay, and is will become green. Voila, here it is. I'm not sure. Yeah, now you can see it. The div element is a whole block that can stand on its own, unlike span, and is used to access or edit a specific portion of your web page. For example, you can use it to break your page into multiple columns. Okay, this is how every single page works. Facebook has divs. Facebook uses divs to differentiate its side menu from your online friends and your friends' posts. Okay, So this is pretty much it about blocks, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video to talk about IDs and classes.